chat, my beautiful bakery community, and all the beautiful people around the world that come and watch me. What is up? We are here again for another episode. And I gotta tell you, this past week has been amazing. My birthday was on Saturday. Had a wonderful time. Spent it with some wonderful people. Got to hang out with those who were able to come and, spend time with me on my special day. And I had a wonderful time. And I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to see the age of 29. And I plan on doing a lot more stuff in my life, changing the ways of things that I used to do when I was younger. And now that I'm older, just kind of maturing and just growing into a man that I was destined to be. Not by my choice, but by God's choice. He's just giving me the tools in my brain to put into play for this to come to light. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I'm very grateful to be here, very blessed and happy to be at this age that I am, and just ready for the next chapter of my life. So all this year, shout out to Speakies, but we on some GMS, grown men-ish. So that's all I can say about that. But as far as the episode today, we're gonna talk about, I have posted it on my Instagram story, just some ideas of what I could talk about soon. And I got one, so I'll post it, but we're gonna talk about that. We'll get into some music. I don't think anything just dropped recently, not that I know of, but we'll get into some music, and then we'll also get into movies and friends, because there has been some things that I've seen that I did not expect to see, and I definitely went on a rabbit hole with this stuff, but we'll get into it. And we'll talk about it a little bit, and then after that, that'll be it. So go ahead, grab you some apples. These are skinless apples. Grab you some water. You know I got mine. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it popping. Let's get it going. All right, so here we are into the episode. What's up, everybody? What's up, my beautiful community? What's up, my beautiful people in the bakery? It's your boy, Mac Diesel, the host with the most, the best, better than the rest. And we are back for another episode of The Bakery. So, as I was telling y'all earlier, my birthday was last week. Had a great time, spent it with some great people, and I'm just blessed. Now, we are slowly but surely evolving into a much more advanced part of life. And I won't even say advanced, but a much more interesting part of life, where things just get a lot more, how do I say, different. And so I posted on my story, my Instagram story, for people to respond to, and just to give me things to talk about as far as like what they want to hear and what they want to speak on. And like I said, I want to be more interactive with everybody. I want to do more things with y'all. So I posted on my story and I said, hey, what's something that y'all want me to talk about this week? And a comment that was posted was to talk about work. And this person I do work with, we're close, been close for some years now. And we pretty much talk as often as we can. We live two different lives. He's got his life, I got mine. But at the end of the day, we're still cool. We still, kick it when we can, and that's about that. So he posted that I should talk about work. And I think that's an interesting topic to talk about, because my place of work is not what it's cracked up to be. And some of the people that work there are not what you would expect them to be, if that makes sense. Not too sure if I'm making sense. But there are just some things that are cool, and then there's some things that are just like, okay, what are you doing? Type thing. So I've been working at this place for many, many years. Started off the first 2 years working in one position in the arena. Ended up being there for, like I said, 2 years. And I found a better opportunity at this other area, same company, different area. And I've been working there for almost, we'll say about 4 years, going on 5, I believe. I've been there for a while. Just with the company in general. I would say I've been at the new area for about 2 to 3 years. And it's cool. It's a cool job. I have plenty of fun. I talk to who I talk to, and some of the higher ups are pretty great people. They don't necessarily treat me like I'm, lower than them, even though I am, but they don't have an ego and they don't act like they can't speak to me from time to time. Now, there are some people in there that do act like they can't talk to me. But, that's cool. That's just what it is. That's the position that they think they have. So it's like, hey, take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. But ultimately, I think that the experience there it's been a little challenging because I've had most days where I felt like, hey, this is cool. Like, I'm here. I get to do this, and this, and blah, 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 blah. And just seeing how things have unfolded, it's put my mind in a different perspective. So that other perspective is now like, dang, like I thought there'd be more opportunity here. I thought I would be able to advance my knowledge. I thought I would be able to just do a lot more than what I'm doing right now. So if y'all don't know, I do building security. And I do building security for one of the biggest organizations in the world. One of the biggest organizations in the world. And the reason I feel the way I do is because I'm a very passionate human being. I'm a very wanting to just be at the top of my game, very wanting to see how I can elevate myself and be greater every day that I step into the building. But it hasn't exactly been that way. And it kind of sucks because working for who I work for, or working under who I work under, hasn't always been the easiest task. And I say that with as much respect as possible. I'm not here to bash my job. I'm not here to bash anybody. But I will tell the truth and I will be honest. But just to go back to the subject at hand, I think work it's been an up and down battle. It's been a lot of limelight. There's been a lot of like downside, and there's been a lot of like, what in the hell is going on here? But I'm never ungrateful for what I have. I'm very grateful to be where I'm at right now because it's taught me a lot of patience, a lot of gratitude, a lot of willing to grind harder the more and more that I'm there. In the position that I am pretty much where I matter, but the bottom of the list, I feel. And the reason I feel that way is because we don't get a lot of attention unless we're needed or unless we are supposed to be in a certain space in a certain area at a certain time. Going to work, I go to work at 7 a.m., work all day, 8 hours or so, and I get off at 3 o'clock. And in between those hours, we are all sitting at one post, making sure no unwanted guests are getting in, making sure people that are supposed to be there are getting in. And it kind of gets boring at times because for 8 hours, you're doing pretty much nothing. Unless there's an event going on, yeah, you're pretty busy, but not every post is like that. Another part about that job is just meeting the people that you meet. There's some people that are kind, there's some people that are not, but it just depends on who you come across. And even still with that, like, we're not allowed to really communicate with everybody, but there are some people we can't communicate with if we are spoken to. So that's kind of the cool part about it, is like you talk to people, but then you don't talk to people. It's like a seesaw. I don't know. And if I could just kind of wrap up the whole job thing, it's just like, or at least what I do, it's just a very simple job, retired military or not, you get to come to work and just mind your business for the most part. You mind your business, you work, you go home. That's literally it. And I think how I want to go about this is, again, not in a negative way, but just be realistic. not only with myself, but with you guys as well. Not every job is going to be what you want it or what you think it's supposed to be. I went into that job expecting to elevate my game, get promoted, and just kind of take what I've learned in real life and apply it to that job. However, I have not had the opportunity to elevate because there are a lot of politics that come within that job and a lot of he said, she said, a lot of, I don't want to say pick me, but it's very much split between the idea of what I say goes, and if you don't like it, find another job. And I feel like all jobs are like that, unfortunately. It's very rare that you find a job where you can work and the managers are very caring, very in tune with their employees and want to see them grow into a different type of space. In my circumstance and in the circumstance that me and this other person are in, we don't have that opportunity. Now, granted, there are some people at the job that have extra incomes and they go to work, they go to this job as like doing something during the week, during the day, but they also have other income coming in that helps them with their everyday life. So some of us, like me, we don't have that extra income. It's probably about 2 to 3 of us that don't have that extra income coming in versus everybody else who's retired military or, retired from something, they have extra money coming in. Again, I'm not one of those people, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But I am definitely finding ways to find a side hustle to make the money that I want to make to keep myself afloat. Because as of right now, times are hard. Living situations are not the best. You have to go where you have to go where you're comfortable and what you can afford. And I would say, and I've heard it a lot, people that live with their parents or live with somebody, do not be in a rush to leave, because when you leave, that's when real life really starts to hit you. Real life hit me after college, but when you start working and living on your own, that's when things start to become a little bit more challenging. And that's okay. It's part of life. That's how it works. But when it comes to work is not fun unless you're doing something that you truly enjoy. Don't ever go into a situation expecting things to be easy or expecting things to be rainbows and flowers. That's not the case. Now, if you're doing something that you love, yes, to you, it's going to be rainbows and flowers, but to other people, they're looking at it in a different perspective. My ultimate goal is I want to work with kids, but as of right now, I'm in a position where I have to stay in this place and work my way up to where I'm able to work with kids. But as of right now, I have to take the proper steps to get to that point. A lot of us as human beings, we into this subject with a very negative tone. And rightfully so. I mean, who wants to work the rest of their life? Not me. I definitely don't want to work the rest of my life. I want to retire by 40. Is that going to happen? I don't know yet. But we're working towards it. Possibly. Even if it's not 40, it could be 60. You never know. When you put yourself in a position to be successful, that's when those type of things start to come about. But again, a lot of us are just trying to make it in this life, and it's hard when we're surrounded by a lot of negativity, a lot of just people that don't care. And when you have people that don't care, that doesn't mean you fight fire with fire. You just kill people with kindness at the end of the day, because ultimately it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt you. It may feel like tension in the moment, but once you start to pay attention and recognize that there's more to this life than allowing somebody to steal your joy or allowing a job to steal your joy, you don't look at it from a negative standpoint. You look at it as like, okay, this is what I'm given. These are my cards that were dealt. How am I going to put these cards in position to help me win and have a winning hand? I just think that mindset has put me in a place of peace, put me in a place and a position of, okay, I'm not going to let this beat me down. What's the next step? What can I do here? How can I change this? What where is my head at ultimately? And it's truly been an exciting experience, also a blessing to just kind of have a much more grown, a much more adult times two mindset. Like I said, when I go into work, yeah, it's not the funnest thing in the world. It's not always the best time, but I know going in that I have a bigger goal. I have a bigger dream that I'm trying to reach, and it's only going to take a matter of time before I can get there. I just have to be willing to stay the course and take the necessary steps I need to take in order to be successful in the position that I want to be successful in. Ultimately, I don't have a lot to say about work. I will say though, just kind of diving even more in depth, the manager position that I work under, it's one specific person. And I'm not gonna drag anybody. I'm not gonna talk bad about anybody because I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I don't believe in talking down on somebody's name or talking about how they suck and this and that. Even if I do feel like that, I feel like throwing that in the air is not cool. And I have done it before. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm perfect. When it comes to on here, I don't want to talk down on anybody's name because we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different parts of life. But what I will do is express how I don't agree on certain things. I don't agree on, and this is where I jump into it. I don't agree on, perfect example. We got an email about how our times of coming in to work and leaving are going to change. The reason why I bring that specific point up is because I go in from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we all have to be there at least 5 minutes before our shift. I'm usually there an hour to 30 minutes before my shift because I know I like to drag behind when I get up in the morning and I don't want to go to work, but I go because it's a job and I need to pay my bills. That's just the end of it. I get there early enough so I know that I'm on time. I don't like to be late for anything. Never have, never try to be. There are some days where, hey, I'm going to be late. Not necessarily to work, but to other stuff. It happens. I'm not going to say it's inevitable, but you can't avoid it if you just have like a certain routine. Anyways, so we got an email about having our time changed. And I feel like it's a bad idea because no matter what in life, things happen. So we can't prevent us having a broken down car, a shattered tire. We can't prevent somebody in our family getting sick, or us twisting an ankle, or us tearing our ACL, or there's so many different things that can happen. And I feel like no matter what you do to change the time, no matter what you do to, I guess in a sense, try to make things work, it's inevitable. People are gonna call in, people are gonna be late, people are either gonna show up to work and do their job or not. There's no preventing that. So you trying to change the time and push it back another hour, it's not gonna make any sense. And so we all had an opportunity to put our input in, and where I work, it's a little bit of a mix between an older crowd and a younger crowd. I'm in the middle, so I'm in between a few younger cats, and then there's a couple older cats older than me. I think there's like 3 or 4, maybe 5, and they all believe one thing, and there's the other belief of the other thing. And obviously, I'm neutral. I mean, I get it. Yeah, you need to come to work no matter what time it is. You need to do this. You need to do that. Whatever. But there's also the other side of, if I can't accommodate to what you want, I'll try, but I can't guarantee I'll be perfect in every situation or every day. Sometimes I gotta handle my responsibilities as an adult, whether that be I have kids or I'm having issues outside of work. You can only control what you can control when it comes to life. Same thing with work. If you're telling me I need to be here at this time, then obviously I'm going to try to be like, okay, let me see if I can try to work something out to where it benefits me. Not only it benefits me, but then it benefits the job. If I can't do that, then That's where I step in as an adult and say, hey, I understand you want this, but this is what I can offer you right now. So you can either deal with that or you can put me on a different shift or whatever. I can't promise you that I'll be this, and this for you or be here at this time. That's just not what I can do. That's some people's life, not everybody, but that's some people's life. And then you have the other people that be like, I'll be here, whatever, 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 whatever. But at the same time, I don't think those people realize in this job, even if you do that, there's no guarantee there's going to be a plus side to that. Yeah, they may promise you, hey, you're going to get this and you're going to get that and you're going to get this. No, they say that, but it's not always the truth. It's not always the truth. And that's not talking to the big dogs. That's talking about the main person who we are under, because the person he's under probably has no idea what this person's doing. So it's kind of like everything's just lost in the smoke. And that's what I hate about jobs and people that I work for and people that I work with, is that not everything is communicated properly. So it's like when people start complaining or when people have questions or when people say this or when people say that, then it's like, well, dang, I wasn't expecting all this. And it's like, well, what do you mean you weren't expecting all this? You're the head honcho. You're supposed to be directing us and you're not even doing it the right way. So then you start making decisions like that, and then you get all these responses, and then you're like, dang, why is everybody being like this? And it's because you're not actually listening to us. I would say this, and just to wrap all this up into one little bow, one present, if you're a manager in a position of authority and you ultimately have the power of making sure life and work is in order, if you're going to change the schedule or if you're going to ask an opinion, don't be upset about the response. And then don't put, oh, we're going to make a decision ultimately based on what we believe, because that's not fair. And it's pointless to even ask that question. Then you have the other side of the employee where it's like you go to work and you work under somebody who is ultimately making decisions, and whether they're good or bad, just do your best to work with them as much as you can. I know it's hard because sometimes we tell people over and over and over again, like, hey, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can only do so much, blah, 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 blah. As long as you're communicating with your higher up and the people that you work for, then that's all that matters. You put it out there, you let them know. It's up to them to make the right decision to put you in a position to succeed as well as them. Again, everything's not going to be perfect. Everybody's working. Unfortunately, we are creatures that are working. 9 times out of 10, we're just working because we have bills that we have to pay, or we're trying to get somewhere and this and that. But truth be told, these jobs do not care about us, whether you have a degree or not. These jobs do not care. They just need a body in a position. And when you leave, they replace your body with another body, and we're just another number. But don't allow these jobs to make you another number. Make your moment, make your position matter to the point where they can't say nothing bad about you. They're not at work constantly questioning you. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Go to work, perform to your best ability, whether it be a simple job or an advanced job. Perform to your best ability to the point where they can't say nothing to you. And that you're doing everything that you're told to do for that job. And do not under any circumstance, do not allow these people to make you feel like you just, you know what I'm saying, that you're another number. Like I said, make your voice matter. Put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? Some jobs are more willing to listen than others. At the end of the day, your life has to matter to you, and you got to put yourself in a position to where you can be successful and you're not stuck just being another number, or just being another body, or just being another something that doesn't matter. Don't let it happen. You got this. Have faith in yourself. Trust yourself. Do the best you can, no matter what the cards are given to you. Now that we got all that mushy stuff out the way, it's time to get into our 2 favorite topics of this podcast. The first one being movies and friends. So, I'm sorry, not movies and friends. We are talking about studio session. My bad. As far as music and things like that, everybody's pretty much doing their own thing. We're still waiting on Drake. We're still waiting on Chris Brown. Bruno Mars just dropped can't talk. Bruno Mars just dropped something not too long ago. It was very, I forget the name of the song, but it was a video on YouTube. It was a very good song, very different from what I'm used to. I would definitely pick this song to listen to it again. I definitely gave that song a 9 out of 10. There are no 10 out of 10s for me, but 9 out of 10 song. He's definitely dropped a lot of videos for his other songs, and I haven't fully listened to that album yet, but I plan on doing that mostly this week if I can get through all of it. And then I know he's going on tour with Anderson .Paak and somebody else I cannot recall, but he'll be coming down here in San Antonio. It's gonna be amazing. I wish I could go, but I was not able to get tickets. Hopefully something opens up. We'll see what happens with that. And then J. Cole's also going on tour. Didn't get tickets for that, but I'm hoping and praying that something comes available so that I can get tickets for that as well. And that's pretty much it. On music, I don't think there's anything else that I've seen recently. I don't think there's anything else coming out other than those artists who just dropped or are getting ready to drop. So yeah, that's it for the most part. And last but not least, we're gonna get into the movies and friends. So, couple things I want to talk about, and I'm trying not to get into too much detail because I don't know anything, and I don't want to dive deep into that. Has nothing to do with me. First and foremost, Spider-Man, still waiting on trailers for that. Brand new day. I need that. Tom Holland decided to take the most perfect, most angelic woman off the market completely and got married, which, it's fine. Whatever. You can have Zendaya since y'all fell in love and whatnot. It's all good. It's not like any of us was liking her or not. Yeah, Tom Holland and Zendaya got married. Nobody knew, which was good. I think he did the smart thing by keeping all of that out of the public, so that way people aren't in their business and raising flags and doing this and doing that, and old exes coming up. You know what I'm saying? Smart. Very smart, I think. Private wedding. They did their thing. They are now officially married. So that's good. It's a blessing. Proud. Happy for them. So yeah, want to see trailers for that. We haven't gotten a trailer for Doomsday in a couple months, or at least a month or so. It's been a while. Still waiting on trailers for that, for whoever else is going to be in the movie. Sorry, that was freaking that. And then gonna watch on stream some trailers for Toy Story. I think some other movies, Scream, and then Scary Movie 6 is actually on its way out, which I'm excited to see that. That's about it. Now, I'm definitely not one to like to talk about this kind of stuff, not on social media platforms, but that Jim Carrey thing, very scary. Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. I think that's a very scary situation. Again, I know nothing about it. I'm not going to act like I know anything about it because it's not my place nor my business. So whatever's going on, we're just going to leave that in God's hands because they ain't got nothing to do with me or us or people that don't know what's going on. And I'm going to stay out of that and leave it at that. But I'm praying for that man. Hope he's okay. And I'm praying God is taking care of everybody else who's in Hollywood and whatever else. But with that being said, I appreciate every single last one of y'all coming through and spending time with me for about a good 30 to 45 minutes. Thank y'all always for showing love. There's going to be plenty more things like this. So when you see stuff I post, don't be afraid to chime in. It's all good. We're all family here. We all get along. And I also put out a post about, what you guys want to be called, what your name should be, what our community name should be. I mean, the bakery is cool, but what would y'all's nickname be? Like, I know on Twitch, I call them the Macaroons. Or I don't have one for the gaming channel. I don't have a nickname for y'all on here. So whatever y'all want, just let me know. And that's what we can pick and decide on. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, repost, retweet, and all that good stuff. And I will see y'all on the next one. I'm outie.